own over 60 houseplants, and a few of those are begonias. For Christmas I bought myself this begonia, maculata, and it was just as big as this avocado plant. Now I bought it just for propagation, and of course to grow my own and to propagate and sell. So I took a whole bunch of cuttings. I tried to propagate some in sphagnum but didn't really work out. And here I have a quite large cutting. I'll show you. It's starting to grow some roots. I just have it in some water. I don't change the water. I only change the water when it's full of algae and it's just super gross. Patience is key. Please be patient because, well, these won't root overnight. So be patient. For example, I have this propagation here. And it grew all these little leaves underwater. So they can handle little to no airflow. But it would be nice to, leave the window open sometimes. Just make sure it's not too cold. Most houseplants stop growing under 12 degrees Celsius, which I think is 64 degrees Fahrenheit. And the same rule applies to the begonias. Try to keep it above 18 degrees Celsius. And it will mostly completely stop growing under 12 degrees Celsius. Now if your water looks like this, kind of gross, full of algae, I don't know how to say it. Anyways, that's a sign to clean it. Now most people clean out the water when there's no reason for it. When there's still no algae, everything's fine, and they still clean the water. Now I gotta say, I did this too, but quickly realized it's not worth it. There's rooting hormones in the water which a plant produces itself. And, when you change out the water every week, you throw those growing hormones away. So it's basically just a recipe to, have to wait longer for it to fully root. And again, patience is key. Now imagine, you want to propagate your begonia. In this case, this is a cane begonia. There are many cane begonias. For example, a cane begonia is where they grow with nodes. And nodes are these little bumps on the stem, which can root, which can produce aerial roots, and which of course creates leaves. Now it's always important to have your plants being healthy before you cut it. So always measure out how much light the plant gets. I'll have a chart up here, so here you can peek how much light the usual plant needs. I'll just say it, I said it in the video before, but low light doesn't mean no light. This is low light. You see, this is 45 foot candles and around 500 lux. The plant doesn't thrive in this light. It obviously would prefer being under the grow lights, but well, as you can see, it's very crowded up here. Now, this is a sign to change the water when the plant is literally rotting and basically not alive. The water looks like total shit. Oh, and this is also a really big sign of a chronic disease called laziness. Don't worry, it happens to us all. Now when you're cutting your houseplants, you want to cut under the node. See, this is a node. This is where a new leaf forms. This is also a node where a new leaf forms. Now you want to cut in between the two nodes. This is called an internode. So you just cut it here. I'm not going to right now because I'm pretty proud of this little plantlet. But you gotta cut right here. Now over here I have an area with some low light. I will be explaining how to propagate a plant via leaves. Now I'm gonna say this beforehand, not every leaf is qualified for this. You just need to pick out a mature big leaf. Well, not always big, just make sure it's, mature enough. I'll make a video soon about that. As you can see, this part is, I know what to call this. Run? I know. But yeah. Also, you see a little plantlet over here, it's already starting to root and grow even bigger and bigger, and soon will turn into this. Now these are all Rex Begonias, and I actually propagated this one myself. I grew this from literally nothing to this. I'll show you a picture up here. This is the leaf which I started with, and well, it died off and it turned into this. Never expect your plants to grow at same speed. For example, I placed this one, and the other one all at the same time. I propagated them in the exact same day. Now, for example, you have propagated this begonia and you get this leaf from it. You might think to yourself, what the hell did I do? Nothing, you did nothing wrong. The first few leaves always look very different than the other ones. These leaves are just to catch the first few sunbeams. Now I already used this leaf, but you have to break along the main veins. I'm sorry, my dog is snoring in the background. I'm so sorry. These are the main veins. You have the center here, and you have this one, you have this one, and you have this one. Just break along the main veins, plop it in some soil. You can, it's optional, but I usually do it. You can tear off this part, because that part usually rots away pretty quickly. This one's already starting to rot. And eventually they'll look like this. Please subscribe, and if you have any questions, please ask them in the comments and I will try my best to give you the best response. And I hope that this was useful. Subscribe.